I was running in the opposite direction. Panting from exhaustion back at the campsite, there was no need for discussion. We immediately packed the tent up and left to a friend's house. Not to go home, of course. I'd rather let the creature eat me than have to admit to my parents that they were right. I won't be the first person to tell you a version of this story. I'm sure you've heard one like it. If you haven't, please sit back for a moment and try to give me the benefit of the doubt. Point Pleasant comes up in these stories often, doesn't it? I know it does, because I've done the research. If my account wasn't backed up by others, I wouldn't be sharing it now. Anyway, you guessed it. Point Pleasant is where my story takes place. Just north of there is a forest reservation for fish and game. That land has to be managed by somebody. For a few years, I was the lucky Park Service member with their boots stuck in Point Pleasant's mud. You see, the forest there isn't exactly worth the hike. During World War II, those 8,000 acres were the base of an ammunition manufacturing facility. The explosives developed there were kept in above ground bunkers, hidden under a layer of dirt and grass. Those bunkers covertly populate the landscape, like houses in the Shire. When the land was abandoned after the war, the explosives left behind in those bunkers began to contaminate the surrounding area. Some of the structures have been known to explode without warning, even though the land is hospitable enough to cater to the occasional hunter or fisherman. Much of it is still considered a national priority for hazardous waste. It was my job to walk the area, check for signs of trespassing, and to navigate any reports of activity around the bunkers. It sounds a bit ridiculous, I know. Who would go wandering around these little igloos of toxicity? You'd be surprised. I chased my fair share of photographers, social media wannabes, and conspiracy theorists.
Now means staying connected. Now is a bold new design and technology that helps keep you safe. Secure your Kia Forte today. There's no time like now. Kia, movement that inspires.
If I regret giving any of them a hard time, it's that last group. There is something going on in Point Pleasant, after all. I saw it. A photographer who actually
They've
got
been
the
doing
clearance from the
excessive
proper
government abuse.
authorities came
They've
to
been
me one morning
psychological
with an
torture.
image that he demanded I see.
They've been doing
He
cruel
had
and
set up
inhumane
some unwieldy remote cameras around a few of the bunkers.
torture.
His
To
goal,
them.
as far
They've
as
been
I
doing all
understood
kinds
it,
of bad shit to
was
me
to
out
take
here.
several pictures throughout the course of
Exactly
the
what they
day
see.
from the comfort of his van
They've been
and
trying to kill
laptop.
me.
He was
They've been
creating a
doing
time
MK Ultra.
lapse or
See,
some other
unseen
artistic
reality
concept that I
and federal
honestly
government
couldn't be
document
bothered with.
4516.
He was obeying my safety instructions,
And it
and that
talks
was
about
all I could really ask for.
how
The
the
picture he
entities
showed
that
me,
the government
however,
works with,
was very
the
bothersome.
government's liable
It
for
was the
everything they've
still
done
image of a pale, naked man running behind one of the
to
bunkers. He
everybody,
was only visible from
including
the
the people
elbows
at the
down,
Mandalay Bay.
since his head and shoulders were already behind the structure. The rest of his physique was too blurry to make out. He must have been sprinting across the frame when the
And
photographer snapped
to
the picture.
everybody else,
Most
everybody
concerning
shouldn't have
was the
been hurt
large black bag
because
slung
these
across
things
his
are
back.
supposed to be
My
banned a
heart
long
started
time ago.
racing the
It's a
moment I saw it.
retaliation that they
If
use
there
it.
was anything remotely explosive in that bag, the stranger could start a chain reaction that would destroy 8,000 acres of land. I called for backup first. A naked man with a black bag didn't exactly inspire urgency in the rest of the Park Service. They were on the way, but I
They
needed to
killed
leave
my
alone.
mom, they killed my
Luckily,
dad.
I knew exactly where that bunker was.
They're doing all
I
kinds
left
of
the
nasty
photographer
stuff to me. They're
behind
talking about my
and
dead
hurried
family
to
members.
hopefully defuse the situation before it got out of hand.
It's messed
When
up.
I arrived there, however,
And I
it
ain't never
wasn't
been
a
through
man waiting for me.
so
It was
much
something
disrespect
else.
in life.
The muscular,
But I
pale,
guess
humanoid body
it's
was
going
squatting
down
atop the
slowly.
bunker.
There's consequences
He
for
had
cursing
climbed up
in
it for
face.
some reason.
A lot of
The
trouble
body
gonna be
cut
in.
off at its head, its shoulders,
They're
smoothed
not
out
cutting
where
my
a
head
neck
off.
should have been.
That's
I
not
could
gonna happen.
clearly see two red
They're in
eyes.
trouble.
I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. I still don't understand it. Not fully. All I know is that I did see it. I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't dreaming. I know that because it was the photograph that lured me out first. I guess my mind didn't have a reference point to compare the creature to anything remotely normal. How could it live without a head? Could it even see with its eyes so low on its body? Then the black shape on its back, which I had mistakenly identified as a bag, started to unfurl. Large, black, feathered wings. They must have sprouted almost 20 feet from tip to tip. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like I was looking at something divine. I'd never seen a creature that big before. I'd never felt so small in the face of something that I couldn't comprehend. I'm sure that I was shaking, but I don't remember much of how my body reacted. I don't know if I yelled or whimpered, or if a cold sweat broke out on my back. I only remember being frozen by the awesome dread. Then it leaped straight up. It flew into the air at some incredible speed. I only heard its wings beat once. Then it was gone. My backup eventually arrived and found me still standing there, still staring. I tried to explain, but quickly shut up when they started to check me for signs of injury. The footprints were atop the bunker. I thought that should have been enough proof. Clawed feet or talons, something
This
big.
case
The
is really
prints were
so
brushed
easy.
aside. I was hopeful
Easiest
still
case in the
that the
history of
photographer's picture